Hello, hello. Welcome to the live stream. If you're watching this later on, we do this every 2 weeks. So today is April 20th, and the next one will be on May 4th, where we just kind of hang out, answer questions, see what you're working on, see how we can help you out. Talking about the platform and any bugs and a lot of other cool stuff. So welcome to anyone joining in. Let's pull open our Discord. If you want to join this, the link is in the description down below. And I'm just going to ping our community real quick. +70. More and more every live stream. It's 60 last time. Welcome. All right, I'm going to send out a tweet real quick. Nice. Okay, I believe we should be all good. Welcome. May the 4th be with you. Yep. Yeah, that'll be the next one. Yeah, happy 420 today. We're hitting all these iconic dates. I hope everyone's doing well. Thanks for jumping in here and hanging out. We'll give it a few minutes, let people join in. I see. I forgot the link. Might help. There we go. Thank you, David. Yeah, that could have been bad. Welcome. I hope everyone's doing awesome today. Staying happy and healthy wherever you are. Let me pull up the changelog. Let's see what we got going on. I know we have some fixes that went in this week, so hopefully the software is feeling a little bit better. Pulling this up. It looks like I probably went over... No, these are new. I believe. I don't know. We'll go over them just in case. I might have went over these last time, but we'll go over these. Let's take a look at our changelog. So I'm uncertain if we talked about it last time, but now secrets are live. We'll play around with some secrets in a script later on, but we've had this suggested a bunch. Now, instead of just having plain strings inside a Python script, we can go and access environment variables. So let's talk about these. I need to build you a broadcast script, Derek. Yeah, I do a bunch of manual stuff right at the beginning of stream, don't I? All right, so let's see. We got our environment variables demo. Okay, so before, how this would work is we'd be using an API. We'll refresh. And I've been working on using Bodo 3, so we'll just do that. Bodo 3. And how Bodo 3 works is we need credentials. So we might have some kind of client with Bodo 3. I'd have to pull up the exact code, but in essence, what it is we have something that looks like client and then arguments that might look like secret key. And this would be equal to some string. Now, inside WayScript, we have a solution where you can use .secrets over here and create keys. We'll just leave it as new secret, and then we type in some string. Cool. So we have that, and we can view it. Once we have that, now we can go back over to our WS file and refresh to try to find our code. Aha, there we go. And we can just pull in that environment variable. We'll have to execute this script first. So running this, we should get this environment variable over here that we can just pull in to our Python script. Almost got it. Almost painful. There we go. So we got our secret, and now we can use this just like how we would a plain string in our Python script. For the newbie here, what's Bodo? So Bodo 3 is how we can interact with AWS resources. So let me pull up the docs. Let me see if I can fix an issue here. Is the audio bad for anyone else? I did adjust my settings a little bit, so it might be bad. I can fix it a little bit more, I think, if it's an issue. But let's see. All right, maybe that's better. Hopefully that's better. I apologize if the audio is bad. But Bodo 3 essentially is a way that we can interact with AWS resources. So anything that we can do on the AWS console, we can pretty much do with Bodo 3. And we can just use that through Python. Let me see if they have a good explainer. No, I don't think so. But yeah, essentially all it is just AWS resources. Cool, so we got secrets. Let's see what else. We got these modules. I believe we may have went through these last time thinking about it. But should have access to bulk SMS on the live site. And we got Big Panda, roll bar. And a lot of these are DevOps focused. So we've been pushing a lot for DevOps content recently. So we have a few more modules. Fixes to send email and Trello. Yeah, so that's what's new with us. I'm paranoid about my audio. Is it horrible? Is it fair to say Bodo 3 equals S3 remote interface interaction? Yeah, so it can. So S3 is just like one resource of AWS. And then Bodo 3 you can use S3 and then everything else. So let's see. Bodo 3 client. Let me pull up some documentation that might make sense. But yeah, for S3, um, anything you can do with the console, you can do with Boto 3. So here, it's probably hard to see because of me. Let me move myself over. There we go. So we have all these different methods that we can apply to our client, which just interacts with S3 resources on AWS. Check. Maybe. Apologies about the volume. I love it. Yeah, it's cool. It's super cool. Um, all kinds of like anything you can pretty much do with the console, you can do with code. I've been playing around with EC2 recently for the last few days, but it's pretty neat. There's just so much stuff here. And pretty much anything that you would possibly need. But then again, who knows? Who knows what you might need? AWS is trying to take care of it though. Yeah, so we got our secrets, new modules, new fixes. I think we're good. So welcome to anyone who's watching who might be new to the platform. Let's do a little brief overview. So we already saw a little bit of our Python module, but let's say that we have some script that we want to execute in the cloud without having to worry about the infrastructure. Let's see. I'm trying to figure out my audio situation. Is that any better? I can just take my face away. It might be a little bit better. But yeah, these are all presets. So hopefully that is better. Are you referring to the hum and the audio? Ah, that might be it. Oh, 1 second. That might be better. Let's give it a second. It might just be my ceiling fan. But yeah, I was getting some messages about there being some feedback in the audio, so I was trying to fix it. But yeah, okay. So we got our Python step in, and let's say that we're trying to build some application that we want to host on the cloud and have running every day, and we don't have to worry about the infrastructure. I always do just a little simple request, and we'll get some URL, and now we can run it. So in just 2 clicks, we're able to get a Python script running in the cloud. And we'll get back this response in our log. Now, let's say we wanted to do a little bit more. So WayScript is awesome because we can integrate a bunch of different services together and have them execute on a trigger. Here we have a time trigger, and we can run whatever we build in our tree below it every day, or something much more complex. For that integration piece, let's say that we want to pass this request and response on to something like an email. We can do that by just pulling that module in. And this is a simple example let me show you all the modules, just in case you're new. We can integrate all of these together to build really dynamic tools to help us out. It doesn't bother me. Hopefully it's better. Hopefully the audio is a little bit better. Sorry about that again. So with all these different modules, we can build complex workflows and we have full control of our code. There's a lot more to WayScript, but that's the gist of it. We can start building different tools and then create a hub of all these tools on our account. Mine is a little bit more than a hub at this point. Mine's like a distribution center almost, with how many scripts I have over here. I promise I use them all. But yeah, so I can build all these scripts on my own account, or if I'm working with someone else, I can go over to a team account and view one of these. So here we see that I'm a part of a team called Avengers, and I can go and access any of these scripts inside of it. But we can build all sorts of things, not just Python steps. So let's go check out our community where we can view different scripts made by developers and then shared. Let's see. I always try to find the new ones that rise up pretty quick. Amazon price tracker. I don't think I've viewed this one yet. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, I'm sure it's pretty cool. Yeah, that's the gist of it. You guys add new modules under my nose. We try our best. We try our best to. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff we want to add. We're still a small team though, so there's only so much that we can add, but we try our best to add in what we think is valuable. But we're working on some pretty cool stuff. Got a new look coming, which should be pretty cool. Some new marketing stuff. Always bug fixes. So yeah. All right, for anyone just joining in, welcome to the Q&A. We're just answering questions. Staff is in chat, so if there's anything we can help you with, then please let us know. In the meantime, if there's no questions, I'll just kind of build around on the platform. So if you've never seen it before, you can get a taste. And I can knock out my work too. So what I'm working on is different DevOps scripts this week. We're trying to push more DevOps focus. But we got an idea. The one I'm working on currently is Circle CI rollback with a text message approval. So the idea of what I want to build is I want a system that will roll back to a previous build if there's some kind of issue detected. And then we'll detect that issue using a Datadog alert. And then we'll do the rollback using the Circle CI module. But we don't want to do that automatically. What we want to do is have a text message trigger where we can send a message. And this might change too. We might do a phone call and approve it. So Circle CI. I believe this one will be build a job. Trigger a pipeline. And then this one will be approve a job. And we'll need a little bit of more code in between there. Cool. Forbidden. Oh, I probably need new keys. New keys on Datadog. But yeah, while I build this, uh, is there anything that you all are working on that we could possibly help? Any bugs that you're hitting that are annoying that you want us to fix? I'm just logging into Datadog here. I have so many different accounts, it's a problem. Might have to go back and fix that later. Yeah, so we'll just assume that we get a Datadog alert that gives us a variable. We'll say something like alert to market. And then I believe this has a title that we'll probably use. We'll just say example title. And we'll need to do something with that title so we know to trigger our build. I'm in the process of working on a bot for Telegram via WayScript. The idea is to interact with the communities and filter certain things through WayScript. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I looked at Telegram. I looked at it to potentially add it, and I believe I already had a branch made to add it as a module, but I wasn't sure how to build it or what the best way to do it was. Because I guess I just needed to research it a little bit more. It seems like there's a bot API and then there's the Telegram API. And I wasn't sure which one to use. Which one are you using? Well, that'll be cool. I would like to build a Telegram module. It's been on the list for forever. I think that's like one of the most recommended modules. The bot API. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that's another one of those things that we should build. Yeah, doesn't look too bad. Authorize with the token. Token method name. Yeah, it doesn't look bad. Maybe I'll sneak that in. We have a we do a hackathon every first Friday of the month where the team just kind of gets to build whatever we want to build. So I might try to sneak that in on the 7th if I can. I have like 5 ideas for the next one. So I'm trying to be prepared and get ready for it. All right, let's see. So, enter Python step. I'm going to pull in that new var. We'll say action equals variables new var. And then something like if action equals, we'll say bad build as the title. Then we'll do something with the circle API. Circle. Well, actually, we just need an event. So event equals build. And then we'll say something like variables event without 3 E's equals event. I want to do a hackathon. Oh, you should join us. It'd be cool to do like a community hackathon day, because that's actually a pretty good idea. On the day that we all do the hackathon, host some kind of hackathon project in the Discord or something. That would be cool. Tried to add a Google Calendar to an HTML page as a booking page for a tennis court in the area, but I couldn't seem to connect with the calendar. That shouldn't be so. That shouldn't be so hard, should it? No, it shouldn't be. I think the module, uh, it Google is difficult when it comes to their APIs. So sometimes they're very possessive of the data that they have, and they make it difficult. Um, if it's a bug with the Google Calendar, I can check it out. If that's what you're saying. But that is a cool use case. That's a great idea. I would build a form that adds to the Google Calendar from the HTML page. For a tennis court, I couldn't seem to connect with the calendar. I see. So you want like a public calendar that people could then like sign up for? Yeah, a form would work if you wanted to go that way. Um, let me create a new script. We'll go new script. So displayed Google Calendar sign up example. Yeah, so a form could do it if you wanted to go that way. You don't want to break. We'll pull in that Google Calendar. I don't know the modes of this. It's been a minute since I've used Google Calendar. Yeah, create event. So then your form could just have these inputs. And then on a second one, if you wanted to host the calendar, if it wasn't already public, like if you didn't already have the link, I guess you can manually do it here. But I'm guessing that's what you're doing, right? Yeah. Yeah. If there's anything, any specifics, I'd be happy to go over. Hello. At the moment, they're just add a paper where you book for playing. Oh, that seems archaic. Yeah, you got to automate that. It's always good to have records. Yeah, let me refresh this. We'll create that form super quick. So Google Calendar, and then so we need an event summary, start date, end date, and then I guess we could just set the same location with like a create var location. We'll say location equals court A. And put it in the event location. I will try to. Okay, so we got our form. Let's go ahead and create that then. My computer is struggling. All right, so we got our event location in, and now our event summary. I guess we can do that on the create var. So we need a start date and an end date, and we can't programmatically set the time. That's a problem. Yeah, so we can almost get there. I wonder if they have an API. Looks like they. Oh, yeah, they do. They have a nice one. calendars, insert. So we're doing a post request with a string. Looks like their examples are in Python 2. So I'll go through and look at that. Hey there. I wonder if you guys can add Google's Vision API facilities on your site. Let me check it out. Lots of Google. Google Vision. Ooh. That's cool. Yeah, that would be a neat module. What all would you want it to do? I'm unfamiliar, so Vision API to detect emotion, understand text, and more. That would be cool. One of the first modules whenever I started with WayScript that I thought of was TensorFlow, but there's just so much you can do with it that it never panned out. I was too bright-eyed and thought I could do anything. Yeah, for this example, it looks like the calendar the calendar, we can't programmatically set it, which would be the biggest issue with the form. So I don't know if that would be a good solution. I know I added a Calendly module, but I'm not sure if it would cover the use case that you're wanting. Yeah, it doesn't even create events right now. That should be possible. We should have a way to do that. And maybe we do, and maybe I'm just overthinking it. But we should have some kind of calendar tool, and it looks like that's a difficult thing. So you're right, it should be easier than what it is right now. But if you didn't care about the time, the form to the calendar insert create event would totally work. But it's probably not the greatest solution right now. Let's see if there's another mode. No, there's not. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I'm sorry about that. This should probably, Calendly should probably have create event API, and I can add that in. Calendly developer. API reference. API 2.0. Yeah, I'll have to check it out. I'm sure they do. And I can probably add that in. Maybe another hackathon feature. It would be kind of cool. I was thinking if you can show a good use case for the Google Sheets trigger. Yeah, we can play around with it. Sorry that this example isn't the best for the Google Calendar example. Let's do a Google Sheets example. So we'll do Google Sheets trigger. We'll pull that in. Cool. So a new row is added to a worksheet. Let's see what else we have. A new worksheet is added to a spreadsheet. A row is updated, or a new row is added to a worksheet. So that's pretty cool. A bunch of ideas that I have out of the gate is like if you're using Sheets as like a data source, knowing when that data source changes so you can create an event. Like you could imagine that our data that comes in is temporary because like Google Sheets isn't a real good or it isn't a database, right? So we could create a system to back up our sheets information using SQL and just write it to a more permanent data source. Um, Stuff like a use case that is familiar to me back when I worked in a cable factory is all the managers would input information into a sheet, and then that would get sent over to an SAP consultant, and he had some code that he could write that would put it in SAP. Um, all sorts of stuff. Let's see. A worksheet is added. That's a good one. I don't have a good use case for that one yet. A new worksheet is added. Hmm. I use it for whenever a new entry is in the sheets. I broadcast in Discord. Sheets is updated and linked to which spreadsheet. That seems to be logical. Yeah, that's a cool use case. Yeah, that's a good one. A new row is added to data. So this would be kind of neat if lots of refreshes. Yeah, get new information and do something with it. So if you're, yeah, talking about, let's see, what is it? Vision API? Yeah, so it'd be, kind of trying to connect the two. It's probably not the best use case to do it, but like if you got new information for a machine learning model in your Google Sheet, then feed that new information to your prediction algorithm or something of that nature. So when new information, predict an output, and then with that information, return it to a client with we could do it like an endpoint, a little stand-up one-page app. So we'd have a Python step here, and then HTTP. Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, doing more with machine learning would be totally neat. And now that was something for a long time that wasn't possible because we didn't have the file system over here, but now we have it. So we're just moving so quick that all those use cases, like, there's so many use cases to do, but that's a good thing. It's a good thing. Oh, this idea of just linking a web page to so many programming languages seems to be so convenient. Yeah, yeah, it's really cool. Um, it's cool to me uh, because I don't have to go through and make a Django project or a Flask project and go and host it on Heroku or AWS or anywhere, right? I can just have a WayScript account and then set it up like this in no time. Which then, um, for small applications, it was always a struggle for me too, personally. Dynamic content on single page applications, if you don't build a full fledged app to like go and query information, um, this is a very simple solution. Like we could just say we wanted some information from an API and we could just query that API with whatever information we wanted. Um, I don't know. I'm just making up some URL, but we could go and get this information and then just pass that as a response onto our web page. It gets pretty cool too, because like we can even put Python responses into HTML code and do all sorts of stuff. I use a lot of Google APIs with WayScript now. Yeah, they got a bunch. It's super powerful. And what's cool is you can use all those Google APIs and everything, integrate it pretty easily, and never hit any blocking circumstance, right? There's no situation in which you can't just use code and get around it. Or we're trying to minimize those scenarios where there's any blocking circumstance. We still have a few that we're aware of and trying to work on. Custom domains is probably the first one that comes to mind. Right now, you can't use a custom domain, but we're working on fixing that. For the most part, I think that's it. That's the only big one I can think of. And a few like more technical ones. I also use HTML for a lot of this. I try to make sure I give my code a head, if that makes sense, some sort of GUI interface. Yeah, that's smart. That's smart. Because that's how you access in to your scripts. Yeah, it makes sense. Let me build a simple little one. I'll actually just make an API. So I'll make my API. We'll set a query parameter of value, and we'll give it a default value of my name. We'll do something like a Python step. Lots of refreshes. Exactly. Front end through HTML and CSS is way more efficient and better. What are the chances of making a shell on the HTML CSS side of things? Making a shell on the HTML CSS side of things? Do you mean like you made a shell and passed it to your application? Sorry, that one got me. That one got me confused. Yeah, with the shell, that is an idea. Way, maybe not way in the future, but it is a compelling use case to think about. What if I could manage all the files in my file system using a shell? So like, what if I could just pull a shell up right here next to my log or somewhere, maybe not right here, but use a shell to manage all my resources on my account, which is a pretty cool idea because you can definitely do that locally. And that's what we're striving for, right? Is we want to be as close to your local machine as possible. A shell script. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm thinking about how to implement that now. Yeah, you could do it. Um, for sure. I'm pulling our shell script. Got our HTTP trigger. We'll do, you said HTML and CSS. We'll do a little HTML file and then a response. Yeah, so we got our echo hello world. Let me pull up the docs to see how we create a variable. So excuse me. Yeah, so equals value. Man, I am not a good shell scripter. I'm cheating. I'm using Stack Overflow. Can I just assign this as a string? Does that make sense? In shell? Yeah, I'll have to get better at that. But yeah, then you could just pass on your shell script into your HTML file and then pass it to a response. The first case which popped up inside my head was to use databases to save stuff and create like a blogging site where people can post blogs. That would be cool. That'd be super cool. That's a good idea. You're right. I like to see my scripts as nodes of a whole. My lesson for that is how can I retrieve data, but that's also on my list. Yeah. Yeah, that's a cool idea. Make like a little blogging website. Have little submissions. I feel like I'm continuing on in my creating new. I almost added another function and another trigger. But yeah, you can make a really pretty form using HTML and then submit it, and then any kind of data source that you wanted to write it to, you could do it. So on a form submit, you would just trigger the next function and pass that information and then save it. Uh, and if you want to build that out, we can do it. Yeah, I'm halfway through like four projects, so whichever one. Yeah, that's a good idea. A little blog website. It'd be pretty easy to make as well. Let's go ahead. I might do that just for fun. If there's something different that you want me to work on, I'll totally do it. Blog, website, example. Cool, we got that in. We'll have our endpoint, our HTML code. Here we need a sample form. Let me go and pull one. Getting that. Or refresh. Got our form here. So we'll post it in the body. And then our form action is page 2. So now we need our second function to have the endpoint of page 2. Changing that. Page, is it underscore? Page 2. Yeah. All right. So we got it. So now when this form submits, we'll send that information over to this endpoint. And what we could do is just say something like SQL or however we wanted to store it, and then write it there. Also reminding you the second time requesting you to please conduct this seminar at a time which suits the Asian time zone as well. It's again 2 in the night here. Sorry. We need to do an earlier one, 2 at night. So realistically, what time is it here? It is 4:48. So to make it a decent hour, 2 in the morning, so at least like 6 your time. So that's 8 hours back. So like 7 in the morning. I could totally do a 7 in the morning stream. I think I'm not sure how we decided on the 4 a.m. time, but I would be very happy to do a 7 a.m. stream. I wonder what the if our audience, what the audience would be like, because I know a lot of our users are in similar time zones. Yeah, I had an amazing session the previous time. Yeah, Yeah, sorry that it's so late. But if I did a 7 a.m. stream, then it might be a little bit better. We might have to sneak one in. We might have to sneak one in. Thanks for hanging out too. I didn't say that. Thanks for staying up so late and joining the live stream. That's dedication. 2 a.m. So let's see, where are we at? We got our form. So here, let's say something like, instead of first name, last name, we'll say blog title. We'll do blog title and change the name, blog title. Then we'll choose one more for the blog contents. So we have blog contents. It's definitely not pretty because I'm not very good at CSS. But yeah, so we got our form here. We got first name for the poster, a blog title, and a contents. Now, when that submits, we need to pass that information to this one. So here, we're going to have query parameters, first name. Then we have blog title. And then blog contents. For a data source, I would probably use SQL, which doesn't want to work, so we might use Google Sheets instead. Would you be comfortable at 10 p.m.? Oh yeah, I'd say anything before 12 will be fine enough here, since in India working till 12 a.m. is casual. Wow. Dang. Working until 12 a.m. as usual? That's a long work day. I get tired at like 3 p.m. I don't know if that means I'm getting old or what, but some days I'm not much of a napper. I don't take many naps, but some days I feel like I could about 4 p.m. in the day, which is horrible. One of my favorite person I talk with is talking to me at 12 a.m. his time there in India. Yeah, that's late. That's late. I'm in bed by 8 p.m. Maybe 9 p.m. if when things are crazy. All right, so let's get this SQL module out of the way. We'll use, which is probably not good to store a text area in a Google Sheet, but we can use that. We'll build our HTML, and then we'll give a return. Cool. And now we could do some kind of programmatic creation of HTML code using Python. Also, I think there are a lot of other use cases when it comes to HTML, SQL, and JavaScript being used together. Oh, for sure. There, we talked about it. I'm not sure if it was last live stream or not, but I would really like to make a video on creating a stand up a React app inside WayScript. So I have a single JSX file that runs a React application and host it all within WayScript. I think that'd be super cool. And that's one that I'm like super excited to kind of dig my teeth into. But just a couple of other priorities right now with all this DevOps stuff. But yeah, maybe by the time I make a few videos, I'll be a JavaScript pro. Be pretty cool. Are you a developer? Not yet, sir. I'm just a keen student studying at college right now. I want to pursue software development in the future. Oh, very cool. Very cool. It's an awesome field. It, it's um it's super cool to make stuff quickly. I like being able to stand up solutions. Not that I do too much of that. I need to get smarter to stand up too many more solutions or stand up very many solutions. But it is cool. You feel powerful. I basically have learned everything from myself, and that's why WayScript has played a major role to bring all APIs to a singular place. Oh, that's awesome. Well, it's super cool that WayScript has that played that role for you. That's really cool to hear. It's cool to know that we're building something that helps people. Very cool. Do write file. Sheet one. Cool. So I think that sets up writing the blogs for the right now. We'll have to get variables. Same thing. I've said this since I showed up on WayScript. I say every chance I get how much I love the system. You're very kind. You're very kind. We definitely appreciate the kind words. It's awesome to hear. Motivating and motivating to get the kind comments. You know, because we're always trying to improve the system, make it better and better. But you know, anytime you build as fast as what we're trying to, things break, and um, that's just kind of how it is. So we're used to the negative comments, but it's awesome that you guys have kind ones. It's exciting to hear. We're gonna keep on building it better and better. Someday there'll be no negative comments and it'll just be all positive, no bugs. It'll be perfect. Let's see. So we got our right here, exit right setup, and we're pretty close. I love how this team is working so hard to help others and is doing such a phenomenal job. It deserves way more attention. Ah, thank you. You guys are too nice. You're too nice. No, it's cool to hear the good comments. Yeah. Well, I may jump off here. Sorry about the audio issues earlier and a little bit of the issues coding. I got plenty to research. I got a list here. I got the Telegram bot API. I got Google Calendar. I got Calendly, and then a 7 a.m. live stream. That one I might try to pitch. It'd be cool to sneak one in, anyways. Just do it for fun. See what the audience is like. But yeah, I got a lot to do. A lot to do. And we're working on some cool stuff too. The audio fixed itself, it seems. Oh, well, good, good. I gotta sleep now. I had fun attending this session and hope to attend the upcoming one session. Thank you for joining in. It's always fun. I always have fun. But yeah, you should go to sleep. It's 2 a.m. What are you doing? Yeah. Thanks so much for attending, guys. I'm gonna jump off here. It was really fun talking to you guys, Captain Morgan and Derek. Aw. It's fun talking to you too. Thanks for hopping in here. Yeah, it's always fun talking. But all right, guys. See ya.